In 2002, researchers at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm discovered that humming for just 60 seconds floods your sinuses with 15 times more nitric oxide than quiet breathing. Nitric oxide is a molecule your brain depends on for blood flow, oxygen delivery, and neural signaling. That means every time you sit in silence, mouth closed, vocal cords still, your brain is being starved of a chemical it was designed to produce, and the fix takes less time than brushing your teeth. Most people think humming is meaningless, a nervous habit, something you do while cooking or waiting in a parking lot. It carries no weight, no value, no biological purpose. That is dead wrong. What your body does when you hum is closer to a pharmaceutical event than a musical one. The vibration produced by your vocal cords, typically between 100 and 300 Hz in adults, does not simply create sound. It creates mechanical oscillations that travel through your jawbone, your skull, your sinus cavities, and into your brain tissue itself. A 1988 paper published in Medical Hypotheses by a team at Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn proposed that vocal vibrations physically massage the brain through the meninges, the three-layered membrane system surrounding your central nervous system, and actually accelerate the renewal of cerebrospinal fluid, the fluid that cleans your brain, the fluid that removes metabolic waste while you sleep. Think about that. Your voice, directed inward, may function as a cleaning mechanism for your own brain. And yet no one teaches this. No doctor writes it on a prescription pad. No physical therapist mentions it during recovery. Most people over 50 have never once been told that the simplest sound a human can make, a closed-mouth hum, triggers a cascade of neurological, chemical, and cardiovascular changes that researchers are only now beginning to map. But the real question is not whether humming does something. It does. The question is what exactly it does, system by system, minute by minute, and why your brain responds to it the way it does. Let's start with the chemistry. Because what happens inside your sinuses during a hum is, frankly, remarkable. Your paranasal sinuses, the hollow air pockets behind your forehead, cheekbones, and nose, are among the largest producers of nitric oxide in your entire body. Nitric oxide is not some obscure compound. It won a Nobel Prize in 1998. It is a signaling molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax, your immune cells to activate, and your neurons to communicate. Without it, your circulation slows, your brain fog worsens, your blood pressure creeps up. It is that important. Here is the problem. During normal quiet breathing, the nitric oxide produced inside your sinuses mostly just sits there. The gas exchange between your sinuses and your nasal airway is sluggish. The ostia, tiny openings connecting your sinuses to your nasal passages, do not allow much airflow during calm, silent breaths. But when you hum, everything changes. Weitzberg and Lundberg at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm published a landmark study in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine in 2002. They measured nasal nitric oxide levels in 10 healthy subjects during quiet exhalation versus humming. The result was not a modest increase, not a 10 or 20% bump. Nitric oxide output increased 15-fold. 15 times the normal amount, a single hum. Why? Because humming creates oscillating airflow. The vibration from your vocal cords generates rapid pressure fluctuations in your nasal cavity that essentially pump air in and out of your sinuses like a bellows. The gas trapped inside those cavities, rich in nitric oxide, gets flushed into your airstream and distributed throughout your respiratory tract. Think of your sinuses like a jar of perfume with a tight lid. During quiet breathing, the lid barely cracks. During humming, the lid comes off entirely. The contents pour out. Lundberg published a follow-up in JAMA in 2003, confirming that this mechanism could have both diagnostic and therapeutic implications. He noted that humming-induced nitric oxide release could be used to test for sinus obstruction, because a blocked sinus cannot release its gas. No hum response, no airflow, potential sinusitis. Now here is where it connects to your brain. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It widens blood vessels. When your nasal nitric oxide levels surge during humming, some of that gas enters your bloodstream through your nasal mucosa. Once in your blood, nitric oxide signals your blood vessel walls to relax. including the vessels feeding your brain. Research published in Circulation by the American Heart Association has confirmed that nitric oxide plays a direct role in regulating cerebral blood flow. More nitric oxide means wider vessels. Wider vessels mean more oxygen reaching your neurons. One hum, 60 seconds, and your brain gets a measurable increase in its blood supply. But this is only the beginning. What happens to your nervous system during that same 60 seconds is even more significant. Your vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in your body. It runs from your brainstem, down through your neck, past your heart, through your lungs, and into your gut. It is the main communication highway between your brain and your organs, and it controls one critical function above all else. It tells your body whether to stay in a state of stress or shift into recovery. When your vagus nerve is active, your heart rate drops, your blood pressure stabilizes, your digestion restarts, your cortisol levels fall. This is the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair mode that most people over 50 spend far too little time in. Here is the connection. Your vagus nerve passes directly through your larynx, your voice box. When you hum, your vocal cords vibrate. Those vibrations mechanically stimulate the vagus nerve. Not metaphorically, not vaguely, physically. The vibrations touch the nerve. Stephen Porges, the neuroscientist who developed polyvagal theory at the University of Illinois, has spent decades studying how vocalization affects the autonomic nervous system. His research demonstrates that vocal vibrations, humming, chanting, even singing, send safety signals to your brain through the vagus nerve. Your brainstem interprets these vibrations as evidence that you are not in danger, that you can afford to relax, that it is safe to redirect energy from vigilance toward healing. If you have ever noticed that humming calms you down, that is not in your head. That is your vagus nerve telling your brain to stand down. In 2023, Trivedi and colleagues published a study in the journal Curious that put this to the test. They used Holter monitors, portable heart monitoring devices, to track heart rate variability in subjects during 4 conditions: physical activity, emotional stress, sleep, and humming. Heart rate variability, or HRV, is one of the most reliable biomarkers of autonomic health. A higher HRV means your nervous system is flexible, responsive, and resilient. A low HRV is associated with chronic stress, heart disease, and early mortality. The result was striking. Humming produced the lowest stress index of all 4 conditions, lower than sleep. Your body was more physiologically calm while humming than while lying unconscious in bed. HRV increased, heart rate decreased. The parasympathetic system dominated. And this happened in minutes, not weeks, not with medication, with sound. If this is making sense to you, if you are starting to see why this matters, subscribe now. Because what comes next is the part that almost nobody talks about. What humming does to your actual brainwaves. That section is 2 minutes away, and it changes the way you understand your own mind. Now, the Trivedi study also showed something else. The humming effect was not just cardiovascular. Subjects reported feeling calmer, more focused, and more mentally clear after sessions. And that is not placebo, that is neurology. Because the vagus nerve does not just slow your heart. It sends afferent signals traveling upward, directly into your brainstem, and from there into your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and attention. So when you hum, you are not just relaxing. You are rewiring the conversation between your body and your brain. And what your brainwaves do in response to this is where the science gets genuinely surprising. What almost nobody talks about is what happens inside your skull at the level of electrical activity when you produce a sustained hum. Your brain runs on waves, electrical oscillations measured in cycles per second, or hertz. Different frequencies correspond to different mental states. Beta waves, 13 to 30 hertz, dominate when you are alert, anxious, or overthinking. Alpha waves, 8 to 13 hertz, show up during calm, relaxed focus. Theta waves, 4 to 8 hertz, appear during deep relaxation, meditation, and the moments just before sleep. Theta is also where memory consolidation happens, where creative insight surfaces, where your brain does its deepest internal work. Most people over 50 spend the vast majority of their waking hours stuck in high beta. Stress, worry, rumination. The brain equivalent of running an engine in the red zone all day long. Humming pulls your brain out of that zone. In 2023, researchers at the All India Institute of Ayurveda and the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, published an EEG study in the Annals of Indian Academy of Neurology. They fitted 30 participants, aged 40 to 60, none of them experienced meditators, with 64-channel EEG caps and a custom nasal sensor to track humming vibrations in real time. The participants hummed for just 90 seconds. The findings were specific. During humming, theta wave activity increased significantly across the frontal cortex, the very region of your brain associated with attention, memory formation, and emotional regulation. The researchers also found that when humming durations were kept to 9 seconds or less per exhalation, the theta wave increase persisted even after humming stopped. Your brain stayed in theta. The relaxation and cognitive benefits continued beyond the practice itself. Some scientists dispute the long-term duration of these effects, and the sample size was modest. The research is still evolving on this, but the direction is consistent across multiple studies. A 2023 study by Milan and colleagues, published in Biomedical Signal Processing and Control, found that cross-spectral density, a measure of how synchronized different brain regions become, increased significantly in the alpha band after humming practice. Translation: different parts of your brain began communicating more efficiently with each other. Your brain became more coherent. Read that again. Your brain, after 60 seconds of humming, becomes more internally synchronized, more connected, more organized. Not from a drug, not from a device, from your own voice vibrating inside your own skull. And there is a mechanical reason for this that goes beyond nerve signals. Remember that 1988 study from Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn? The researchers proposed that vocal vibrations physically vibrate your skull bones, which transmit those oscillations into the meninges and cerebrospinal fluid surrounding your brain. This vibration, some researchers estimate, your skull resonates at frequencies between 100 and 200 Hz, well within the range of a human hum, may physically accelerate the flow of cerebrospinal fluid. The same fluid that your glymphatic system uses to flush metabolic waste from your brain while you sleep. The implication is staggering. Humming may partially replicate one of the brain cleaning functions of sleep while you are fully awake. This is not yet proven to the satisfaction of every neuroscientist. Depending on who you ask, the cerebrospinal fluid hypothesis ranges from highly plausible to speculative. But the nitric oxide data is rock solid. The vagus nerve data is rock solid. The EEG data is published and peer-reviewed. And the mechanical vibration of the skull is a simple fact of physics. So the question becomes, if your body has this built-in mechanism, this 60-second reset button sitting right behind your lips, how do you actually use it? Here is a clear, evidence-based protocol. 5 steps. Each one takes under 2 minutes. Each one is backed by the research we just covered. Step 1. Sit upright with your spine straight. Do this first thing in the morning, before coffee, before checking your phone. The reason is timing. Your cortisol levels peak within 30 minutes of waking, the cortisol awakening response. Humming during this window directly counteracts that spike by activating your parasympathetic system through the vagus nerve. Sit in a chair, feet flat on the floor, hands on your thighs. Close your mouth. Step 2. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Fill your lungs completely. This deep nasal inhalation primes your sinuses with fresh nitric oxide. The Weitzberg and Lundberg research at the Karolinska Institute showed that the nitric oxide peak is highest on the first hum after a full inhalation, so do not rush this breath. Step 3. Exhale through your closed mouth while producing a steady hum for 6 to 9 seconds. Keep the pitch comfortable, a low or medium tone, somewhere around 130 to 150 Hz for most adult voices. You should feel the vibration in your chest, your throat, your sinuses, and the bones of your face. If you place your fingertips on your cheekbones, you should feel them buzzing. That buzz is the oscillating airflow that pumps nitric oxide out of your sinus cavities and into your bloodstream. Step 4. Repeat for 60 seconds total. This typically means 4 to 6 full cycles of inhale and hum. The 2023 EEG study from AIIA found that theta wave activation became significant within 90 seconds. Dr. Trivedi's Holter monitor data from the same year showed measurable HRV improvement in under 5 minutes. 60 seconds is your minimum effective dose. 5 minutes is optimal. Step 5. After your final hum, sit quietly for 30 seconds with your eyes closed. This is not filler. This is functional. The EEG data showed that theta wave increases persisted after humming stopped, but only when participants remained still. Movement disrupted the carryover. Those 30 seconds of silence are where your brain integrates the shift. If even one of these steps was new to you, hit like. It tells the algorithm to show this to more people who need to hear it. Dr. Shirley Tellis at the Indian Council of Medical Research has been studying pranayama breathing techniques, including humming-based practices, in adults over 60 since the early 2000s. Her published work consistently shows improvements in attention, autonomic balance, and sleep quality among older practitioners who follow protocols nearly identical to this one. One more thing, you can do this anywhere. In your car before walking into a stressful appointment, in bed before sleep, in a waiting room. It requires no equipment, no app, no subscription. Your voice is the instrument. Your sinuses are the pharmacy. Your vagus nerve is the delivery system. You already own everything you need. Step back for a moment and consider what we just covered. A single molecule, nitric oxide, surges 15-fold when you hum. A single nerve, the vagus, shifts your entire autonomic nervous system from stress to recovery when it feels your vocal cords vibrate. A single brain frequency, theta, rises measurably across your frontal cortex within 90 seconds of sustained humming. And your skull itself may act as a resonance chamber, vibrating the fluid around your brain in ways that accelerate waste clearance. This is not ancient wisdom dressed up in modern language. This is modern physiology confirming what your body has been trying to tell you every time you absent-mindedly hummed a tune and felt a little better afterward. Your body knew before your mind caught up. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most of us stopped humming. Somewhere between childhood and middle age, we went quiet. We stopped making sound for the sake of sound. We replaced it with silence, or worse, with noise, news, alerts, arguments. We filled the acoustic space around us with everything except the one vibration your nervous system was built to produce and respond to. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. When was the last time you actually hummed out loud, on purpose, for more than 10 seconds? I would bet most of you cannot remember. And now you know what that silence has been costing you. Your body does not decline because of time. It declines because of silence. That is the line I want you to carry out of this. Your cells, your nerves, your brain, they are all waiting for a signal, a vibration, a sound only you can make. Share this with someone who needs it, a spouse, a sibling, a friend who has not been sleeping well or whose stress never seems to ease. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. What I am working on for next week goes deeper into the vagus nerve than anything I have published before. 60 seconds, one hum. Your brain is